Alright, so we're starting to finally put some tiles down. So we got the mortar mixed, and again we're using Kiesel, but this is their floor mortar. It's called Trio. And it has actually glass beads instead of silica sand. Two great reasons for that. One, it helps with the holding power so that when you set your tiles in, they don't sink. The biggest one I find is for your lungs. Silica sand damages lungs, and that's in most mortars. With this, it doesn't get in, because silica sand will get in and actually stick, whereas this is just plain dust, blow it away and you're fine. So the mortar I love to use is definitely Trio. Use them all, it's a great mortar. I'm going to start by putting some down, and you can see the consistency here. So this is probably the thickest you want Trio. Unlike other mortars, you don't need to make it really thick to work well, because it has properties in it that helps hold the tile up without sinking. A lot of the other ones, if you mix them a bit wetter, then the tile sinks as time goes on. So with this stuff, you can mix it nice and wet so that it'll stick to the tile properly. That's very important that it actually sticks to the tile. So with Ditra, the Ditra mat, any of the Ditras, you have to really work the mortar into each of the little cavities here. So back and forth, up and down. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. Okay, now that I did that, I want to tell you the reason why I did it the way I did it. So first you saw me work it in, which is called keying it in. So to key it in, you use the flat edge of your trowel and you're pushing the mortar in. So up and down, left and right, just to get it in each cavity. It's very important. Then once you have, you feel good about everything being filled, you take more mortar than you need, you put it down, and you, at a 45-degree angle, you bring your trowel across. That gives it these perfect edges. I'm using a 3/8 by 1/4 inch trowel, and for this particular tile, this is the best way to go. If it's a large format, large tile, definitely 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. But this will work great for this tile. You saw that I have nice clean lines. There's no swirl. This way you have even rows. And that is the best way to do it. So then you want to take your first tile, which in this case is this funny looking thing here. So you'll see in a minute why this tile is the way it is. And this will not be very easy to put down because of what we had to do here. So you want to put it in. So the first tile obviously is very important because everything you do stems off of your first tile. Now I have decided that this tub was going to be my flat, straight wall. So everything is going to go off of the tub. And as long as I keep to my measurements, then it'll work out perfectly all the way across. And always remember to keep that sponge on hand just to wipe your hands and other places up. And there is your first tile. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm actually adding black in between the whites to give it that checkered effect. So this took a little bit of time to figure out, but once we got it, then we're good to go. So that's how I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to keep moving down and moving across, because you have to make sure that you work your way out of the room. Kind of seems obvious, but make sure when you figure out your layout how it's going to happen. Now with these tiles, the layout's fairly simple because they're small pieces, and no matter where I put it, there's always going to be small pieces at the end. On large tiles, you need to figure out where is it going to look good both on this side and on this side, and in this particular room on that wall. Because this wall, everything's buried, doesn't matter. These three walls are the ones that you really need to think about. So there's a lot to think about for that too. And we're just going to keep going, and then we'll come back further on.